Alright, it's 9:20. Means it's 4:20 somewhere. If you got one, spark up. Alright. Back to the George Carlin audiobook. When will Jesus bring the pork chops? This is part... Shit. Hold on. I want to say, is this part 20? You'd think I would have did some quick little look and find out beforehand. Yep, part 20. Alright. We got a little over an hour and a half left. So let's get to it.
Here are some interesting sex facts from Thailand, accurate as of 15 years ago. And I apologize for the dated quality of this information, but I find it fascinating, and since it's accurate, I wish to include it here. In 1990 alone, 5 million sex tourists, mostly affluent men from Japan, spent $4.5 billion on sex in Thailand. The country at that time had 800,000 child prostitutes under the age of 16, prostitution being the major occupation for children between 10 and 16. The girls earn 20 to 80 cents a week, and their recruitment begins at 6 years of age. Additionally, at that time, there were 200,000 Thai prostitutes working in Europe. In 1993, there were 600,000 Thais infected with AIDS, with 1,200 new cases occurring every day. I have only one question to ask. Doesn't anyone in Asia jerk off anymore? By the way, I can't get newer statistics because apparently everyone in Thailand is too busy getting undressed. Putting the cat out. It was nearly 11:30 and I had just put the cat out. But it hadn't been easy. He had burned more fiercely than I anticipated. The poor thing had caught fire earlier in the evening when, in an effort to test his reflexes, I had thrown his favorite toy mouse into the fireplace, and instinctively he raced in after it. Whoom, you might say. At first I let him burn a while, just to teach him a lesson, and to peel off a couple of layers of the mud, mange, and matted hair which seemed lately, sadly, to have robbed him of a step or two. But I must admit I was also quite fascinated by the many spectacular colors he began to glow with. Colors, no doubt, owed in part to the countless hours he spent killing time in the toxic dump next door. It was quite a show. In fact, I saw several pyrotechnic effects I dare say have not been witnessed since the Grucci home exploded during the bicentennial. Then, as the feline conflagration began to burn itself out, and I could see the clear, stark outline of his hairless body, he began to emit a dense cloud of smoke, along with some other gaseous substance, which I can only describe as cat steam. Acting quickly, I covered him with several cheap sweaters that no longer fit and pounded him gently, although not without anger, for just over an hour, or until the smoke died down and he stopped his, by then, bothersome screeching. At that point, energized, apparently by a sudden burst of pain and fear, he leapt several feet into the air, went stiff and spread-eagled, and began to spin violently, giving off an ominous low-frequency hum, and circling the ceiling fan in an elliptical orbit. He circled for the better part of an hour, and then finally, exhausted, or I thought maybe dead, he went suddenly limp. His orbit decayed, and he smashed into an 18th century break front, landing heavily on the floor. For 3 days he lay motionless. When finally he awoke, I opened a can of bits of kidney and fed him by hand. I can tell you this, although he looked quite unusual and he smelled god-awful, I was glad I could be there for him when he needed me.
What the fuck happened to that cat?
Saving the little things we remove from our bodies comes from our natural curiosity. We all have it. We're curious about ourselves, we're curious about our bodies, so we're curious about all the little parts that we clip, snip, pluck, pull, or pick off of ourselves. Toenail clippings are a good example. I'll set the scene for you. You're sitting on the bed.
I was gonna ask if there's actually people who save toenail clippings, but then I remembered. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
At home one night, and something really shitty comes on TV, like a regularly scheduled primetime network program. And you think, well, I'm not gonna watch Raymond Blows the Milkman. I'm gonna clip my fucking toenails. So you start to clip your toenails, and every time you clip one of them, the little clipped part flies several feet away. You notice that? These little things fly all over the bed. So when you're finished clipping, you have to gather them all back into a little pile. You can't leave them all over the bed. They make little dents in your legs. You don't need that. You have to gather them back into a pile. And you ever notice this? The bigger the pile gets, the more pride you have in the pile. Look at this, honey. The biggest pile of toenail clippings we've had in this house since the day the Big Bopper died. Get the fucking camcorder. Call the Museum of Natural History. Tell them we have a good idea for one of those diorama things. And then you search the bed for the largest clipping of all, the biggest one you can find, usually from the big toe. And you bend it for a while, don't you? Yes, you do. You bend it, you squeeze it, you play with it.
See, I ain't gonna lie. There is one thing that I have thought about storing. That's the husky fur when I brush them. You could stuff a quilt, all kinds of shit. Yeah, I mean, that fur keeps him safe in like 20, 30 below. Keeps him warm. You stuff a quilt with that. I don't know. I'm curious.
You have to. Why? Because you can. Because it's still lively and viable. It just came off of your body. There's still moisture in it. It's almost alive. And sometimes I save my toenail clippings overnight. Do you ever do that? You put them in an ashtray and try to save them till the morning? It's no use. They're no good in the morning. They're too dry. You can't bend them. I say fuck them. Throw them away. Who needs unbendable toenails? Not me. I'm not that sick. I don't need parts that badly. No, sir. Little things, folks. Little things you pick off your body and your curiosity about them, especially if it's something you can't really see before you pick it off. For instance, you know how sometimes you're picking your ass? You know what I mean, just standing out in the driveway, idly picking your ass. And as you're picking and probing, you come across something that seems to be a small object. And let's be real here, folks. After you manage to pull it free, don't you smell it? Just a little bit? Sure you do. You have to. It's only natural. And you get excited. Honey, come here. Look. You want a couple of hits off of this thing while it's still fresh? Remind me something, baby. Did we eat at Fatburger this week? We did. Well, I don't remember ordering anything that smelled like this. I believe this is a shit burger. You know, tastes like a burger, smells like shit. Actually, it smells more like Ethel Merman. Call that Andrew Lloyd Webber fellow. Tell him we have a great idea for one of those fine shows he's always putting on Broadway. Then, give me the scrapbook, baby. This son of a bitch is going right next to that Lithuanian toe jam we found at the Olympics. It's an exciting moment the whole family can enjoy. The birthday party. 2 bachelors at a neighborhood bar. Tomorrow's my 40th birthday. I gotta go get candles and pick up my cake. You buying your own birthday cake? No, I ain't buying my own birthday cake. My mother's buying it. I'm just picking it up. She's giving me a surprise party, but she don't feel good, so she can't pick up the cake. It's a surprise party and you're picking up the cake? I ain't gonna look at it, okay? It's already wrapped. I'm just gonna pick it up. But how can it be a surprise party if you're picking up the cake and you know the party is coming? I don't know when it's coming, do I? Could be 8 in the morning. Could be midnight. 8 in the morning? How can you have a birthday party at 8 in the morning? Who the fuck is gonna come? The milkman? Don't laugh. My mother would do it. One year on my birthday, I got drunk and didn't come home. She threw the party without me. What'd she sing? Happy birthday to him? You're a fucking riot, you know that? How many candles you gonna get? Well, we already got 16 from my kid's birthday last year, and 24 is how many come in a box. I'm 40, so I only got to get one box. I guess I could go ahead and get 2 boxes and leave my kids' candles alone, but 2 boxes would be 48 candles. And what am I going to do with the 8 extras? Save 'em? Don't laugh. At my house, we do save 'em. In fact, we don't even light 'em up. Why not? Well, if you light 'em up, they look crappy the next time you want to use 'em. Believe me, we don't waste nothing in my house. In fact, listen to this. A couple of years ago, my grandfather turned 96. 96 is 4 boxes, right? 4 times 24. Right. Well, we only had 60 candles on hand, 'cause that's all we ever need for my mother. She's one of them people, when she turned 60, she decided to stop having birthdays. So 60's all we need, 2.5 boxes. So we bought 3 boxes, but that's 72, giving us 12 left over, right? I'm taking your word for it. Trust me, okay? So we got 12 extra candles, and we decided to give them to my niece. She was just turning 36, and she already had a brand new box of 24 of her own. She's a widow with no kids, so she don't need too many candles. I think maybe on a cat's birthday or something, she sticks one on a cupcake. So with her, a box lasts a long time. Keep going. Anyway, like I say, it's my grandfather's 96th birthday, and we only had 60 candles. That means we need 36 more, a box and a half. So we borrowed 36 from my brother. He had 2 full boxes, because in about 6 months, it's his 48th birthday. But that's still a ways off, so we borrowed 36 from him, which leaves him with 12. And that works out nice, because his kid is going to be 12 next week, so we're covered all the way around. You got an interesting family. Anyways, we put the 96 candles on my grandfather's cake, and we start to light them up, okay? But there's so many of them that by the time we get to the last one, half of them are just little holes in the frosting with smoke coming out. But if you look down into the holes, you could still see the flames. So my grandfather blew out all 96 candles, but he had to do them one at a time because he had to blow down each individual hole. Plus, he's short-winded. You know the good part? I can't imagine. He got 96 different wishes. Did any of them come true? I think 3. You believe in wishes? I mean, you believe they come true? Nah. I believe in wishes, but I don't believe they come true. Not unless it's a real easy wish, like, I wish I was at a birthday party. But you gotta blow out all the candles, or else the wish don't come true. If one candle stays lit, you don't get your wish. Well, suppose you wished one candle would stay lit. What do you mean? I mean, suppose you wished that one candle would stay lit, and then you blew them all out. What would happen? Well, it couldn't happen unless you blew them all out. But if you blew them all out, then one candle wouldn't have stayed lit, so your wish wouldn't have come true. Don't give me that college shit, will you? Jesus. Herbie, you ever notice this guy? As soon as you start talking about something intelligent, he has to throw in that college shit. He says, if you wish for one candle to stay lit, it won't happen unless you blow all the candles out. That's the kind of shit they teach in college now. That's right. Just so happens my major was comparative birthday cakes with a minor in frosting. It wouldn't surprise me. You gonna have hats? It ain't a party without hats. Nah, no hats. How come? They come 50 in the box. What am I gonna do with 48 extra hats? In your family, it might work out. I know.
Alright. Sorry about that.
What am I going to do with 48 extra hats? In your family, it might work out. I know. That's why I ain't going to do it. See you next week. Okay, so long. Have a happy birthday. I'll do my best. One Christmas when I was little, my Aunt Lil gave me a book about railroads. It was just the kind of gift I hated, a book. I wanted a toy. Preferably a little car or a truck, or maybe a few soldiers. I didn't ask much. Just some kind of toy a boy could play with every day and not get tired of. No, A boring fucking book about railroads with pictures of fucking trains. My mother forced me to tell Aunt Lil that I really liked the book. She made me lie and say thank you and all that other drivel shit parents are constantly trying to push into your head. She didn't want to hurt Lil's feelings. Actually, she didn't want to look bad in Lil's eyes. Well, I made the mistake, common in childhood, of listening to my mother and following her advice. I thanked Lil. Guess the result. Right. Every Christmas and every birthday from then on, I got a fucking boring book from my fucking boring Aunt fucking boring Lil. First buses, then airplanes, then trucks, then cars, and on through the years until she ran out of conveyances and had to switch to buildings. I weep when I think of all the soldiers I could have had. Probably a battalion or two. Ah, well. I realize the problem now. I was too young to have learned the following sentence. Hey, Lil, take your fucking railroad book and stick it up your ass and get me some goddamn soldiers. That would have nipped the whole thing in the bud.
Oh, shit. That's a good one to end on right there. That was... He said, they made me say thank you. Guess what? I kept getting books. See, it's funny, when I was younger, I wasn't really big into reading. Then I got older, moved out here. I had nothing but time. Didn't really know anybody. And I started wanting to, like, actually learn, like, why shit's so fucked up. Then reading became fun because I was reading things that had an interest. But, alright. That was part 20 of When Will Jesus Bring the Pork Chops. If you're new to the channel, I do have a playlist for the other 19. As you can see, we are 6 hours in. We got an hour and 20 minutes left. So, almost there. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a nice night. Stay blazing.